Welcome to the Take Command podcast. My name is Paul Gowan, a former Mustang Marine turned leadership consultant. Each week, we bring you an inspiring person or message to help you take command of your life. More than empowerment, greater than confidence, take command of your life. Thanks for spending some time with me. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to Take Command Tuesday. As you can see, white balance. Yep. Look at this. Everything's getting packed right now. Val and I have our dear friend Jenny Ballou in town. I picked her up last night near midnight. She's here in town to help pack us out. Val's going to school. She's getting ready for finals. I'm taking some next steps to create some stuff for you all, you beautiful people. So let's do something different. So real quick, if you're tuning in and this is your first time, make sure go ahead to the chat roll below, or let's see, the chat roll on the side. Is that the right side? I think that's the right side. The chat roll on the side. Put in your name and where you're tuning in from. Let's take a look at how far this message is reaching this week, and then we can take a bit of an audit. What do you guys want to talk about? I've got some ideas around relationships. I've got some ideas around how you can contribute your best in your relationships, and how you can feel different aspects of what's happening in your body to help you be aware of that. And so just put a little vote down below. What do you want to know? This is going to be a little bit of a choose your own adventure. Many of you have been offering me emails and DMs and Facebook messages. Thank you so much for that. I love to know that what I'm sharing here is making a difference for you and that you have more questions. So if you have those questions, this is a great time over on the chat roll, because it's not the comments down below. The comments will be posted when this video is released to the public. However, I don't think the chat roll is. So this is your chance to have a live conversation with me because you're taking time out of your day. So as that's coming up, so what do you want to talk about today? I've got some stuff prepared. I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's give a shout out to some people in the chat roll. Of course, we've got Jenny Ballou from Bozeman, Montana in the apartment today. She actually just hooked me up and made me some green tea. My teeth have been getting a little darker lately because of how much coffee I've been drinking. So you know what? Green tea, here we go. We've got Gail coming in from Canada. And Gail, so Jenny Ballou from Montana, southern Canada, flew down last night and we went for a walk this morning. She was freezing. So it is cold in Phoenix, Arizona. I think it was 43 this morning, somewhere around there, which after, 2 months ago, it was 120. So 43 is a big difference. And, it takes time to acclimatize. And we can actually tie that in as well to what we're talking about. Hey, Dad, Ron Gowan is here, coming in from Great Falls, Montana. So glad that you made it. And I know we've got some other people because I can see that I've got a few more people. So put it into the chat roll, not the comments. Let me know where you're watching, where you're tuning in from. Okay, so let's see. Gail says, I'm thinking about change and who I need to be for this next decade. Gail, go over to Instagram and watch the video from GoWin.Today that I posted this morning. I think that there's going to be some great tidbits there for you. And maybe we'll just use that as a jumping point. I'll give it another second. This is so much fun because there's a 30-second delay between what I'm saying and what you see me saying. And then there's the delay of you typing something in response to my questions, especially if you're on your mobile device. If you're on your phone, you're like, okay, Paul, hold on. Let me get the comments. And then you're typing it with your thumbs. And so there's that delay as well. It's hilarious. It really challenges me for pacing things, pacing questions, and not saying, well, what do you want to talk about? I think that's probably where I was a couple years ago. I'm really excited to have grown to this level that I can serve you greater. Gail says it's 41 over in the far eastern tundra called Canada. It's so far east, she has her own time zone. Although, Gail, I found out that you, I think, share the same time zone with Brendan Burchard. The Atlantic time zone, I think, is for your section of Canada and Brendan's section of America down in Puerto Rico. Really cool. So, taking a look at change. Change is something that I'm really focused on right now, and taking a look at fear and how that shows up for people. The bottom line is, people fear change. Change is fundamentally the unknown. And please know, if this is you, and when I said that change causes fear, and if that caused a squirm in you, that may be an aspect of fear that's showing up for you. And I really love it. If you felt that squirm, that's going to be part of what we're talking about today, is being aware of what is familiar, and then being attuned to, aware, attentive to what is different. So I want you to think about creating a really awesome space for yourself right now. Let's take a couple breaths. If you're watching this right now, and if you have your notebooks out, good on you. I want you to go and set your pen down. If you're sitting down, I want you to scoot your butt to the edge of your seat. I want you to sit up nice and straight. And go ahead and close your eyes. And I'm going to talk you through something here. I want you to bring in anything that's stressing you and just kind of like let it go. The way I like to do this is I think of a color of fresh, clean, crisp air. For me, it's the color of like a light blue. And when I breathe that in, I visualize that going into my lungs. And then I take the stress and the pain and the concern and the worry and the headaches and the heartaches and the everything else throughout my body. And I envision that as black, or like a sludgy, mucky, crappy brown. And I bring that energy from like the tips of my fingers, the tips of my toes, the top of my head, and I bring all of that stress and I bring it down to my lungs. Okay? To make room for that, I swap out. Like I push the cool air, that cool color, and I push that blue out to my fingertips. The black is in my lungs, and then I exhale and I let go of that which no longer serves me. And that's what I invite you to do right now. So take a nice deep breath. Great job. Now swap that out. Push that color that you see of that clean, crisp air that you're bringing into your lungs, push that out to every part of your body. And whatever color that you see, that stress, that pain, that worry, that fatigue, that pain, that fear, bring that into your lungs. And then when you exhale, push it out to the universe. Let go of that which no longer serves you. Okay, so let's do it again. And exhale. Another one. And exhale. Do you got one more in you? Awesome. Let's do it together. Inhale. And exhale. Your body is not built to hang on to fear. It's not built to hang on to stress. It's not built to hang on to pain. So when you have that awareness and you can push that out into the universe can handle it. It's kind of like a fish peeing in the ocean. It's not like you're going to drastically alter the chemical structure of the ocean because as a fish, you just peed in it, right? Like there is negative energy. There is negative thoughts. There is that fear within you. And you just like let it go. It's not serving you anymore. The universe can handle it. And if you have a faith practice that you might call that God or Yahweh or Allah, you might call that the universe, you might call it your inner wisdom, your inner goddess, like you can give it a bunch of different names. What I want you to do is trust in that power greater than you. Trust that there is something so much more vast and greater than you that when you let go of that which no longer serves you, it's okay. It's when you release it onto someone or when you keep it into yourself, that's not okay. So take this time and then gauge the feeling in your body. I'm going to step away from my microphone. Oh, wait, I can take it with me. Okay. Do you love this new microphone? I love the way it sounds. I like to think about where that energy is inside of me. So for me, when I'm calmly confident, like I hope you are right now, after that breathing exercise, you're letting go of that which no longer serves you. Then you have this calm confidence, or maybe you call it your center, or maybe you call it your meditative state, or whatever name. I call it calm confidence. You now have a baseline, and you can grow into this and increase the level of its familiarity in your life. And this is done through doing these breathing techniques, by having a meditative practice, by journaling, by eating healthy, by sleeping well. All of these things allow you to get a better and more accurate baseline of where that calm energy lives within you. So then how does this tie in for Gail, like who I need to be for this decade? Gail, working with you has been amazing. Seeing your growth, receiving some of the advice that you give me. Thank you so much for that. And when we take a look at like who we need to be, or even if we want to push ourselves and say who we want to be, we go after that. We recognize that that is a journey. And as part of that journey, we're going to do our best to live in alignment with those markers that we've established. So we've talked before about setting up your best self-words. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Your best self-words, as you're in that place of taking those meditative breaths and letting go of that which no longer serves you, I want you to bring into your mind's eye your best self. Something from the future, something that you're going to be inspired to grow to be. And then identify 3 character traits that describe your best self. And now you have a target. Now you have a goal. Well, what do you do as you're on the journey? As you're taking command of yourself so you can take command of the relationships you have with others, feel for that energy. So as I've been on this journey, what I've learned is when I have something that shocks me or concerns me or stresses me out, then my energy will start coming up to here. As I might get scared and want to fight, then my energy will drop down to my gut. And this is where you hear, this isn't like the butterflies in your stomach. This is like my stomach is in knots. I would say it's 2 different feelings. As you are feeling these things that are not aligned with who you want to be, it's a game for me of how fast can I notice and take action. One of the things that I learned in school was like the speed of your reaction. So they would have you hold your hand open and then have a ruler, and then without telling you, they would release the ruler, and then it was just a measure of how fast could you close your hand to measure your reaction time. And we did experiments for if somebody counted you down, if somebody gave you a heads up, or if somebody didn't tell you anything. And the game was like, how fast could you have your reaction time be? That's what I like to do as I feel this energy shifting, is play the game. How fast can I be aware, and then take the breaths to breathe that energy back into that calmly confident place. So Gail, as you are deciding who you want to be for the next decade or for the next year or where you want to start for the next month, take a look at that energy. Take a look at, as you are interacting with other people as your best self, that there might be times where that energy becomes unsettled. That's fear. So just take a minute. Honor that you are that aware of what's going on in your life, that you're that aware of what's going on inside your body, and then take some breaths. Take some breaths, release that which no longer serves you, which, by the way, there are aspects of fear serving you until you can learn the lesson and then let go of the fear. Like, you can fear that the stove is hot until you learn that the stove can be turned off, and then it's not. You can learn how to hover your hand over the stove. Learning through these things is not to build up some sort of like pain tolerance. Like, I can just put my hand on the stove and I believe that if I do that enough times that I will build up a callus to it. No. Fear is not something I want you to be calloused towards. I want you to be aware and I want you to learn from it, and I want you to take those steps to move into a more loving place. And that's where, as I become more aware of that energy, that has been such an amazing game changer. It allows me to respond faster, especially because I say that I play with this energy. I make it a game. I challenge myself for how quickly can I take command of that relationship with myself. Once I recognize that it's not aligned, then I play the game. How fast? And this is supported by science, because you know that I love to share my thoughts with you all. But Paul Gowan's good ideas isn't what really moves us forward. I want to have a good idea. I want to do the research for you, and I want to share with you the results. And an article I recently read talked about how when something happens, any stimulus event in your life, happy, sad, angry, scared, whatever, your physiological reaction, so the chemicals in your brain, the reaction of your body, is 90 seconds. 90 seconds. That's the reaction. Everything after that is a psychological choice. Let me say that again. The first 90 seconds, physiological reaction. Everything after that, psychological choice, which means in some of the frameworks that I use, it's your intentional response. What's really exciting for me is as I have developed this awareness of where that energy is and the ability to breathe through it, I've changed my initial reaction. Where not that long ago, like a few years ago, when there would be something that would scare me, I would be verbally swinging, like coming in to spar with Mike Tyson verbally and win. But you don't win. You don't win when you act like that. I didn't get the memo on that. I didn't understand it. And I really sabotaged a lot of relationships. As I have changed my training, as I have changed that reaction, then it's not a matter of me rising to the occasion in that moment of fear, in that moment of stress, in that moment of unknown. It's a matter of me falling back on my training. And you can take command of your training. That's what's so exciting about this work. You are not like predestined. It is not your fate to act a certain way. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor, talks about this, that the last of human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. What are you facing? And this isn't to have like a pissing contest between you and the Holocaust, okay? Don't do that. Use this as inspiration, not to minimize yourself or to say that Viktor Frankl didn't have it that bad. Don't enter into that comparative state. Instead, take a look at this person that went through this trying time and what his best method was to negotiate, to navigate that, and then come out on the other end and offer a learning lesson. You have the choice of that attitude. You have the choice of that response knowing that right now your reaction might not be aligned with your best self. And that might be part of where you get that fear and you get that unsettledness inside. Like for me, it's usually right here in my upper torso. Pay attention to that. And one way that I like to think of this is, are you the thermostat or the thermometer? Are you setting the temperature of your life, or are you reactive and just reading it out? And if this is really striking a chord with you, I'm glad. I did not recognize how many times I had the opportunity to turn down the heat of some of my criticism, or to warm up some of my distancing habits that I had in my relationships. I am the thermostat. So I set the conditions for success for myself and others to interact with me, and for me to interact with them. I set those conditions for success. I practice this. It's not that it's easy. We'll talk about easy and hard another day. It's that I focus on that is what is for me to be of service. For me, my family, my brand, my clients, my students, you beautiful people tuning in right now, that it ceases to be hard or easy. Nietzsche, I think German philosopher. Yeah, I think German, because I called my friend Bianca because I wanted to be able to say his name properly. So I hope that's close for any German speakers. Nietzsche said, the man who knows his why can bear almost any how. So when you're really clear about what it is that you want and why, who you want to be and why, are you willing to go in and earn it and why? Once you are clear about that why, it ceases to matter if it is difficult or easy or hard or challenging. Can I get an amen in the chat roll on a Tuesday morning? Because you're focused. You're focused on generating that confidence. You're focused on living into and from your best self. You're focused on bringing your best self into and creating your best relationships. It all starts with taking command of yourself. It all starts with that little bit more of awareness for what's going on for you. It all starts with that intention that you are no longer at this place of existence for you, that there's another level, that there's a level of thrival beyond the survival. That's my dream, is that as you understand what that why is, then I can help you with some of these frameworks to accomplish that. Oh, got some comments from Gail. Amen. Thank you so much. Got a little going there. Got a little flow. So, what's next on the horizon? Really excited for Black Friday. I am learning how to do some new email broadcasts. This is going to be so much fun to watch this video a year from now. For some of you, you remember back when I used to do the button-up shirt with the 2 or 3 top buttons unbuttoned, and I had the goop in my hair, but I never could get the back right, so I was always trying to look at the camera straight on, because anytime I turned, you saw this goofy flap where the hair goop, I couldn't get it to work right. That's where I started, and I love looking at those videos and just being like, oh, baby Paul, look at you go, dude. You got out there. You did it, man. It was a hot mess, and your hair and the buttons on your shirt, and you did it. So I'm going to be doing that a year from now with this video. I'm learning how to do some email sequences a little differently. So I'm going to be sending out some information about some of the opportunities I have to take advantage of some Black Friday specials as I'm building some momentum into January. Yeah, Gail remembers the V-neck. I liked the V-necks. I'm talking about the button-ups. Did you like the V-necks? I liked the V-necks. It was those button-ups that just I was like, 1 button, 2 buttons, 3 buttons. It was so ridiculous. It wasn't me. It wasn't aligned. I got out there And that's how I could start figuring out like, well, what was me? Who am I? Is just get out there and do it. Oh, thanks, Gail. She says you're looking great today. So there's some great opportunities here. Some of you were part of the high performance group coaching program that I had, where we went through the core sessions. We went through those charge sessions. We went through those declaration sessions. And for those of you who weren't part of that, each one of those curriculum that I just mentioned was 12 sessions of content that I am so blessed to be able to facilitate for all of you as a certified high performance coach. This is written by Brendon Burchard. This is what he shares with Oprah Winfrey and her executive team. He's helped train Usher and some of his team, Ariana Huffington, Larry King. He uses these exact same frameworks as he's working with clients that are paying him millions of dollars a year to receive the coaching. I'm so grateful to be able to offer that to you. And at a premium. You don't even have to pay me millions of dollars a year. So I'm going to be taking a look at how to bring us into that fourth curriculum, which is called leadership. I'm really, really proud that a few months ago, I've pivoted the brand into Take Command, because that is leadership. And it starts as being a leader of yourself. So as I'm receiving these sessions, I am putting myself through my own paces to guide myself through those sessions. I'm linked up with a partner so that way I'm receiving their coaching as well towards me. And because you guys are live, you get to hear it first. Taking a look at how am I going to invite a group of people to come in and take that ride with me of these leadership sessions, the fourth curriculum from the High Performance Institute, written by the man himself, Brendon Burchard. I'll also be doing some giveaways. I'm also going to be doing some promotional pricing. So if you want to help, as part of this movement of helping people take command of the choices in your life, you can do a few things. First off, when you see me on Instagram or Facebook, or you receive my emails, replying back. I don't care about algorithms. I'm sure there will be a time in the future that I care about these Facebook algorithms and what I'm doing and how it's converting. Right now, when I get a reply back, when I get a message back, when I get a DM back, I don't care about the algorithm, because it's a person that took time to say thank you. It's a person that took the time to say this mattered. It's a person that says, hey, I was able to forward this to my friend. So as you see any of this information and you want to help, let me know. Provide that feedback for me. Send me your questions. There's been so many of you that have been sending me your questions lately. I'm really excited, because that's going to help me out for GoWin Monthly here in about 2 weeks. We'll be doing it from the new apartment, and that'll be our Tuesday night live session here on YouTube. And I take that from the questions in the community. So keep those questions coming. So that's the second thing you can do. The first is get on and comment and share that online content. And then the third thing is send my website out. If you have someone that can benefit from taking command of their life at a different level, that you see that you have an opportunity to share some of this information with them, point them to my website. Point them to my Instagram. My website is paulgowan.com. Instagram is @paul.gowan. Facebook, type in Paul Gowan, GoWin.Today. And that's, let me think. I think that's everywhere that I'm hanging out right now. Twitter, I'm not worried about right now. And Pinterest, I haven't been on for quite some time. So those would be the main places, is Facebook, Instagram, and the interwebs. So that's how I would ask for your help. As these different promotional offerings are coming out, you guys are going to get access to them first. You're on the email list that I have. So I'm going to be really excited to give you some access to some of these giveaways that I have coming up in mind. So if you want to have your friends be able to cash in on that and take advantage of these opportunities, forward them the email. Give them the link. Let's grow this family. And I think that's about it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the chat roll. Gail, you were rocking it. You were blowing up the chat roll. Thank you so very much for that. final Take Command Tuesday from this place. After I separated from my kids and my former wife, I called that home the outpost. I wanted it to be like this distant, survivalistic thing, like on the frontier. I wanted to be away from everyone. And now I almost feel like I like to call this place the outlook. It's how I've changed how to view the world in these last few homes. And it's really exciting because they've all been on the top floor of their buildings. Was on the 3rd floor in Bozeman, Montana, which is really high. The tallest building in Bozeman is 5 stories tall. Moved to Scottsdale, was on the 2nd floor of a 2-story building. Here we were on the 5th floor. And in Tempe, we're going to be on the 5th floor as well. And it changes your outlook when you kind of rise out of the muck and the mire and the drama of your past, and you really choose to build upon that and learn from that. It's become really a metaphor for me. So really excited to share all of that with you. Keep the comments coming. And until I speak with you next time, take command of your choices so that you can go out and win your dreams today. Love you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.